Good morning. Welcome to this week's edition of Coffee and Style. I'm here with my coffee and really excited to connect with all of you today. It's good stuff. So I will give everyone just a minute to start to hop on here. I know there's a lot of excitement around hearing my takeaways and thoughts from the coffee chat with Brené Brown. I am just really on such a Stella Dot high coming off of our annual conference Hoopla this past weekend in Nashville. It was my fourth Hoopla that I've attended, and it was by far my favorite. I just loved all the speakers that we had and left feeling so inspired and motivated, and just like it was this opportunity to grow. And I know for the women on my team, especially those who are moms and have full-time jobs outside of Stella and Dot, which is really the majority of Stella and Dot stylists, they really took away from the weekend so many tidbits that they can apply not only to their Stella and Dot business, but to their whole life. And I think that's so amazing. So I am excited about, hey Michelle, I'm excited about where we're going as a company and just the impact. I think it was just overall, it was a reminder to me that this business is really changing lives and making a big difference, and that's so exciting. We just celebrated this is our 10-year anniversary celebration at this Hoopla, and what everyone is most excited about is that we've already, in our first 10 years, paid out $500 million in commissions. Yes, my Michelle bracelet. We've already paid out $500 million in commissions, which is representative of $500 million in choices made for women that they might have had to say no to otherwise. So I'm really excited about that and passionate about impacting more women's lives into our next decade. So with no further ado, I want to, first of all, show you some of the product sneak peeks and swag that we received as Hoopla attendees. Of course, all of us as Stella Dot stylists are obsessed with the product, and for most of us, that's kind of what initially ropes us into being a stylist, is that we want absolutely everything. We want to get it for free and at a discount, and so we join and launch as a stylist. So we get lots of gifts when we attend Hoopla and pretty much anything. So one of them was, some of these are pieces that I showed you on my video live from Nashville, the Style Club exclusives, which one is this bracelet. Do not know what it's called. Those of you who are stylists watching, if you know the names of anything, feel free to say them because I have no idea. This really cute striped bangle. It has these really fun little tassels on the bottom, and all of this detailing is hand-wrapped thread and beading. It looks super cute with the Kalani statement necklace. So if you have that necklace, this really completes the look. And I am wearing it, of course, with the essential hammered sculptural bangle, which is my favorite. As you know, I wear it basically every day. And then with the gold knot cuff. And we also got, where did that go? We also got the other Style Club exclusive bracelet, which is missing in action. All right, if I see it in a second, I'll show you, but that's what happens when you go live. Things vanish. But it's this really cute embroidered leather little cuff wrap that's about this thick, and it has really pretty embroidery. I'll post a picture later. Super cute. And we also received a few pieces from our holiday line. Do you see something that you've never seen before that maybe you love? This scarf is super cute and part of our holiday collection. And I'll show you how it looks. And I'm just thinking to myself too, so one of the tips from a top stylist was, when you do Facebook Lives, don't wear black, clearly I came home and did not implement that tip at all. I'm wearing black today, but I guess with lighting and the way Facebook does their videos, it looks a lot better if you don't wear a black top. So if you ever do Facebook Lives, you can use that tip too, and maybe I'll actually follow that advice next time. Who else is out there? Say hello, Mom. I think I see you. Say hi when you hop on. I would love to say hi back. Hey, Jill. Okay, so this is the scarf. It's really pretty. It has like this blush background and then black and this hot pink. And this is designed after a piece of lace from Blythe, our head of design, our chief creative officer, the head of our design team. It's a piece of vintage lace from her grandmother, Dot. And they created this custom pattern that they overlaid on the scarf, and it's really just so beautiful. I love the colors. It's so me. Black and hot pink and blush is just gorgeous. So I'm excited about this. And if you see this motif on here, this lace motif, a little hint, stay tuned for a cuff and pair of earrings that might have similar inspiration. Hey, Liz. So we got this, which I know I will wear like crazy. And then we also got this new crossbody bag, which I think is so cool. This is a brand new fabric for us. See, look how white my face is because I'm wearing a black top. It's true. This is all a new custom fabric that I don't know what it's made out of. It's not leather, but it feels like leather. It has like this braided texture to it. It's really pretty, and then has the crossbody strap. I'm assuming it's one of our Waverlys, is the Waverly Petite. It's like that same style that folds in half. It has a zipper there, and then it has a really cute pattern on the inside that's perfect for fall. It's blush, burgundy, and black flowers, blush as the background color. So really, really cute. I know this one will be a hit. Who doesn't like a black crossbody bag? If you don't have one, you need one, and you can get this one, just not yet. But let me know if you want it. I'll put it on your wish list. Okay, so those are the sneaks. If that other bracelet like randomly appears, I'll just jump up and show it to you. But I was so excited about getting the opportunity, one, to hear Brené Brown speak from the main stage as our keynote speaker at Hoopla. I think it's incredible that Stella and Dot invests so much in our personal development as stylists and as women, because truly the ticket price to attend Hoopla, is so like subsidized and discounted, to where, if you went to go see Brené Brown speak somewhere, people would be spending more than we spent for the entire weekend, which also included personal finance tips from Jean Chatsky and just so many other wonderful opportunities to learn. So that was already super exciting, but the first day of Hoopla is a leadership summit. And I also got to do this really cool Fascination Advantage training and like personal assessment. That was really cool. So the first day of this leadership day, it was literally a raffle ticket that was getting pulled out of a hat. I never win stuff like that. And my ticket got pulled to be one of 30 women who got to meet with Brené after her keynote speech for this really intimate coffee chat, and we got to just dig into some of her points even more. So that was really, really exciting. And I also got an autographed book, which I left back there. I should have pulled it out. So that was really cool too. It's her new book, Braving the Wilderness, which I haven't read, so it's so perfect. Now I can read it. I'm super excited too. And I've read her book, Daring Greatly. I haven't read her other book, which I'm forgetting the title of. Okay, so in her main stage presentation, the really big key takeaway that I know hit home for everybody, and also, side note, the fact that she was able to just connect so well with the audience was really impressive. I mean, there were several thousand women in the room, and you just really felt that she was speaking right to you. She's so charismatic, really down to earth. I mean, really walks the walk of what she talks about and writes about. And it was just she had everyone absolutely captivated. But the main key takeaway was that you can have courage or you can have comfort, but you can't have both. So if you want to be courageous, if you want to be brave, if you want to live a full life, you have to step outside of your comfort zone. You cannot exist in both of those spaces at once. And as a continuation of that thought, if you choose to be brave, you're gonna fall. I think she used the phrase like you're gonna get your ass kicked, and that's a good reminder too, that if you want to step up and be brave and be truly the person that you were made to be, there will be consequences, and you have to accept that. I loved this quote too. The heartbroken are the bravest among us because they had the courage to love. How impactful is that? I love that too. And so in order to cope with and manage the feedback that you'll receive if you step out and become brave, and put yourself out there with that willingness to fall, is that you're gonna have a peanut gallery that is constantly giving you feedback. So which can really, clearly that can completely bog you down. Hey Shay, and really get to you and start to make you pull back from that courageous, brave person that you are. So the story that she used was when she did her basically like accidental TED Talk. She did her TED Talk, which is one of the top 5 most TED Talks in the world about vulnerability. It was kind of an experiment. She had never done a speech like that before. She did not know that it was being filmed. And then once she found out it was filmed, her husband was like, nobody's gonna watch it. Well, meanwhile, it is starting to be put out on news outlets. It's getting millions and millions of views. And so she's reading the comments, and of course they're ripping her apart. So her suggestion for managing that is to get yourself a 1 by 1 inch square of paper, that small. And she said on that 1 by 1 inch square of paper, and she said they do this as their staff. You keep this in your wallet or somewhere nearby. You write the names of the people whose opinions of you matter. So she said if you need a bigger square than that, you got to start cutting people out who you're going to let their opinion get to you. So of course this is going to be your partner, your close friends, people who really genuinely care about you, and so therefore you will actually listen and take their feedback into consideration. Because you can't say, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks. One, that's not true, because we as humans are hardwired for connection, but limiting those whom you will accept their feedback is so important. So yes, if you're going to be brave, you're going to fall. You've got to show up, and you can't let all the feedback in. I love the part too where she spoke about joy as the most vulnerable of human emotions, because we're afraid of it being ripped away. So we squander our joy by dress rehearsing tragedy. Wow, right? So it's when you're feeling that moment of just true happiness and joy and excitement, and you're sort of oh no, what's gonna happen that's bad? Or you minimize the feelings of that joy because you feel okay, if I feel too happy about this, that could just be ripped away from me at any moment in tragedy. So she suggests not doing that, right? Because that's not living a full life. By practicing gratitude, which is something that I really want to implement more than I have in the past. So when you feel that quiver of vulnerability, let it prompt gratitude instead of fear. So when you're feeling that joy, that excitement, instead of having that worry, notice the worry and then consciously decide to practice gratitude in that moment. Her example was when her daughter went to her high school prom. She said, I was watching her and her date walk towards the car, feeling so happy for her that she was so happy and so, proud in that moment. But then, of course, right when they're stepping into the car, where does her brain go? Car crash, right? That was the first thing that she thought about. And so she made that conscious switch to say, I'm not going to let this fear steal this moment of joy. I'm going to be grateful that I had a chance to be part of this moment. And so she just changed the narrative and the story that she's telling herself. And that phrase, the story that I'm telling myself is really the game changer. It's what you can use in a moment where maybe you're feeling a negative something or other, you're feeling judged by another person, you're feeling like they're upset with you or like you're not on the same page. She said people who are living the boldest, bravest lives always in her research, she found that they all use some sort of like variation of the phrase, the story that I'm telling myself is blah, blah, blah. So you might, which part, Liz, the story I'm telling myself? I don't know if the comments come in real time. I would love to know like which part you were telling your mom about. So for example, if you walk out of a meeting with someone and you're like, that was a great meeting. And they're like, uh-huh. You could walk away from that feeling like, oh my gosh, she hates me. She thought my presentation was so stupid. Like all these things that we tell ourselves, of course, we go straight to being our own worst critic. But to remediate that by going back to that person and saying, hey, can I talk to you about that meeting today? After we walked out, I said great meeting, and based on your reaction, the story that I'm telling myself is that you're pissed off at me. What's going on? And so that opens the conversation to, two things. One is like, they're like, oh my gosh, no, not at all. That meeting just went over by 30 minutes and my lower back was killing me and I was just so glad to get out of there. And then you're like, oh my gosh, cool. Or on the alternative, maybe that if they are, and they might say, yeah, I actually was mad because, we talked about sharing the proposal in this way and you didn't do that. So even if it is that the person is upset with you, you still get to have that conversation. And either way, answer this in the comments. Do you walk away from that exchange with more respect for the person or less? If you're the one who was approached after the meeting with the person coming to you, would you have more respect for that person or less? Hopefully you guys are typing away over there. Hey, Liz. Oh, yeah. Joy in changing the narrative to be grateful. Yes, it's such a good point. Okay, you guys aren't commenting, or at least it's not coming through, but yes, thanks, Mom. Mom for the win, always has my back. Thank you. Yes, you would walk away with more respect for them because they're actually communicating with you and you're connecting on like a real level. So I love that too. So that was basically all of the main points from her keynote speech. After that, I was ushered into another area, another room, got that amazing signed copy of the book, and it was, again, this really intimate setting where one of our home office executives, Daniel Redner, was asking Brené some questions that had been, they had been like pre-selected, and then we had a chance to add some questions too. Since that room was people who are really focused on leadership, we got to talk about her points and hear some points from her book that she's writing from more of that leadership lens. She kicked things off. I didn't jot down what the actual questions are, but just some of the sound bites that really struck me that I jotted down. The most successful people question the stories we made up and check them for accuracy. So I think this is also just a great reminder that the way to be the best leader that you can be is to be the best person that you can be, and to do, work on yourself first so that you can shine your light out onto others. So being able to question those stories is really, it was about building resilience. So how do you build resilience? Which obviously is really important in business, but in life as well. So the most successful people question the stories we made up and check them for accuracy. So when you receive a no as a business owner, if you don't know by now that receiving lots and lots of no's, whether you're watching this as a Stella Dot stylist or not, I think it should be common knowledge that in business you get far more no's than you get yeses. So in whatever business, or if you're even like doing a job search, right, you're gonna get rejected. That's just part of life. And the most successful people question the stories we made up and check them for accuracy. So for example, if you are applying for jobs and you're getting a lot of rejections, you might be telling yourself, the story that I'm telling myself is that I am, have no qualifications, no one wants to hire me, I am unworthy, and to consciously fact check yourself for that and ask yourself what might actually be the truth, which maybe is there were just other more qualified candidates and it's not personal, or maybe you need to maybe I should brush up my resume a little bit. So little things like that. And one of Brené's other really great points was to recognize when you're hooked by emotion so that you can do that fact check. So she said, for example, for herself, she said when she's getting that emotional hook, and the point of this is that you can't think rationally and emotionally at the same time, right? So that seems kind of obvious, but you might be having this really emotional reaction to things and think that you're thinking it through when you're not. So her point was to become more aware of when you are being emotional. And she said, like, for herself, like, she's like, my armpits start to sweat and I get this tingly feeling, and that's when I can tell myself, like, I am being emotional right now. How can I take a step back? How can I fact check my stories? And I thought that was really a great point. So of course, as a bunch of leaders in the room, the question that was asked by the crowd was, okay, so you can do all of these things for yourself, but how do I help others be more vulnerable and be brave and courageous and live this more full life? Her exact quote was, "You can never control the stories other people make up, but you can build a culture that embraces fact-checking your stories by modeling fact-checking your stories and creating a culture where people don't need armor." And that is just like mic drop, Brené. It was so good. The note to armor. Hey, Diana. The note to armor, if you're not familiar with Brené Brown already, is that she calls your armor, that's whatever you whatever front that you put up to prevent people from getting in. So it might be like pretending like you don't care, or it might be getting defensive. It's whatever you do when you're feeling vulnerable to put up a wall. So in your organization, in your life, in your families, create a culture where people don't need that armor so that you can have that really full life and full layers of communication and just be your true self. So everything was absolutely amazing. Those were all really the main points. I would love to take any questions if there are questions that you have or parts of it that you really liked. The armor was a really, really great takeaway. And if you haven't ever seen her TED Talk, just Google or search for it on YouTube, Brené Brown. It's The Power of Vulnerability, and it's so, so good. And you can tell it's her own moment of serious vulnerability, because she shared, she did not plan for that to be this groundbreaking moment. It was kind of like a little test to see how it went. And she said afterwards, she went home and she said, I'm never doing that again. And then next thing you know, it's this, worldwide phenomenon. So it was crazy. And she also, for those of you who don't know the backstory about her being our keynote speaker, she was supposed to be our keynote speaker last year. And it was like super hyped up. Everybody was really excited about it. And then literally the day before she was supposed to come speak, we, got the word that she had to cancel because she like ran headfirst into a plate glass wall and had a severe concussion. And so Bonnie, who is an amazing stylist on my team and a really close friend, she made the good point after the fact that she was like, it's really impressive because she came into the crowd, maybe not really knowing if this was like a friendly crowd or kind of like a hostile, like pissed off crowd. And she just handled it so beautifully and shared how much that really was challenging for her, that she like does not like to share or to cancel on a commitment. And like that even launched off her whole speech with like her own vulnerability and authenticity. And she really does walk the walk of what she talks about. All right, y'all. Well, that is pretty much all that I have for today. This week was a little bit of a different type of coffee and style, but I'm really glad that I had the chance to do this and share these takeaways with you because, we're on here all the time talking about styling and fashion and our beautiful Stella Dot product, but I hope that today gave you a little bit of a glimpse into how Stella Dot is really so much more than that. Our mission's all about empowering women, and that is, includes those who are stylists and everyone who we touch, whether it's our amazing hostesses, our amazing customers. I'm so grateful for all of you for your support of my business, and I'm super excited to launch into our next decade of impact. So if you have been ever had a little inkling that what I am doing looks like fun and that you think you might enjoy it, I would love to talk to you about it more. I'm really excited to go out over the next year and focus on doubling our impact. And I would love for you to be a part of it and really help me and take Stella Dot to the next level and get whatever you want out of it too. So would love to chat with you more about that. We have that amazing sign up special this month to launch this next decade big. And it's really like a ground floor opportunity. So just another tidbit from Jessica Herron's keynote, who Jessica is our CEO and founder. She showed a pie chart of the market share that we have as Stella Dot just for accessories. And of course, as you know, we've launched into apparel too, but accessories is a $30 billion industry. And we have, I'm going to say it wrong, but I think it's 0.0003%. Of the market of women who are shopping of that market have shopped with us. So people always ask me is the market saturated? Or they know 3 stylists and they're the market's saturated, but it's actually hilarious because when she went to render a pie chart in PowerPoint, there's not even a line. There's not even a crack or a little hairline mark. There is nothing there. We have nothing basically in this market. So if you are someone who wants to dive in and really build this, it is definitely possible. We're really just getting started. So that is where I will leave you all today. Thank you for joining me for Coffee and Style, and I can't wait to chat with you again next time. Please let me know if there's anything specific that you would like to chat about on these weekly chats. Would love to get your suggestions too. Have a great day, everyone.